Hello, everyone. This is David Shahada with Marketing War, and today I have a very special gift. She is a mother, a wife, and a wonderful entrepreneur. Her name is Carmen Ring. Carmen has been translating content for over 10 years now. And not only that, she also design and implement the strategies to get you exposure in front of new international clients to market your product or service and help you get more exposure and grow exponentially. Carmen, are you there?
Yes, David, thank you for the beautiful introduction, and hello everyone.
Is that a correct one?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Tell us,
everything's correct.
how did you choose this profession, by the way? Because I know a lot of translators, but I don't know anybody who does, taking people overseas, in terms of translating and getting all the content and so forth.
Yeah, so I'll give you the very short version of my story. Growing up, I'm from Eastern Europe. I grew up in Romania, and my parents, they both work for the government, and they didn't really have any advice for me on what to be when I grow up. Right? They are like, choose your own path. They didn't really give me any advice besides one piece of advice. They said, we don't speak any foreign languages, and we missed out on a lot of opportunities because of this. They could have gotten promotions, they could have gotten, sent to work internationally, but because they didn't speak any other language, they missed out on these things. So they said, just learn a lot of languages, as many as you can. So they even hired private tutors for me, and they said, once you have this flexibility, then you can just choose your path, you can test more things, you can go abroad. So this is what I did from a very young age. I started learning a lot of languages from when I was 5, 6 years old. I started with Spanish and French, and then at 11 with English, then German, Italian, and I just kept adding and adding and adding. And because I had this passion for languages also, so it was a fit also, right? Because they gave the same advice to my brother, but he didn't take it. So I guess it was a passion also, and I loved learning them. So then I started traveling and I applying for scholarships, and I got the scholarships and went to college in France. And then when it was time for me to get a job, I applied for internships, and I got internships in the Netherlands and in Germany. So I just kept traveling, and I got to learn not just the languages, but I got to learn to work in different companies, and I got to learn the culture and what being an entrepreneur in all these different countries means. So then when I finally settled in New York, which is, I settled here because I got married here, so I started a family here. I decided to use all of my experience and also all of my contacts, because in all of these years, I just created so many contacts. I worked for international companies, so they are also sending me abroad. So I decided to use all of this experience to help other entrepreneurs go internationally. So a lot of entrepreneurs in US, they want to go to Europe or to Asia or to South America. And also people from these places, they want to come to the US. So this is what I do today.
I see. So basically, your parents were the motivating factor for you to kind of excel and learn something new because they didn't have it and they wanted you to have more than what they have. Is that correct?
Yes, that. It was their idea, and as I said, it was also a very good fit for me. I just embraced it very happily.
That's great. That's great. And so you find translating people's businesses. Let's have an example. Let's say right now I have a course, an example, whether it's real estate course or how to market. I want to teach other people how to do it. And I come to you as a client. What would you do? What you ask me? Can you tell us what's the first thing to do and so forth?
Well, first I would ask you if you personally have an interest in a specific market. Say, I would like to be in Mexico, or I would like. Then, if you don't really care about that, we would go to do a little. I would look into what you have, and I would give my recommendations on what I think the best foreign market would be for you to start. And then what we would do is I would make sure you have a product that works without you. So a lot of coaches or people who teach some sort of services like marketing, for example, they only do live events or they have live webinars. So for this to work in a very efficient way, it has to be something that works offline. So a recording or a physical product, like a booklet, a notebook, a guide. So first, we're going to make sure you have something physical that can be translated and adapted in another language. We would choose the market you want to go on, and the key factors to get this fast is we would get your product or class or webinar endorsed by some key partners on that new market, people who are already known on that market, people who are trusted by other people, because you as a new person, when you go, while a lot of people are open to new, it helps having the endorsement and the support of somebody local that they already know and trust.
Oh, great. Now, and you have all these contacts?
I have personally a lot of contacts that I can get you in touch with, or that can get me in touch with other contacts. And I would also, happily share some of these strategies with you, so you can tell me, I would like maybe this person, and we can try to approach that specific person. Or we would just, first of all, define the profile of a person that you think, for example, you being in marketing, I probably wouldn't get, a doctor to endorse you, right? It has to be somebody that's related. So we would first describe the profile, or maybe you want a doctor, maybe you want to do marketing for like drugs, for or for medical devices. So maybe a doctor would be a good fit. It just depends. We would look at creating the perfect profile for the person you want to endorse your product, and then we find it together, and we find a way to get to them and to endorse you.
I've done
that for myself many times, and just it works great.
That must be really exciting too, isn't it?
It is. It's very. I just love connecting with people from different languages, different cultures, and every now and then we have all these funny jokes or funny situations that come up, and they can come because of pronunciation. Of course, you notice I have an accent. So sometimes funny things happen from that, and I just love even those situations.
Yeah, when you're in the crowd. Yeah. One more thing, I want to ask you about the languages, or rather, let me ask you this question. What's the biggest market that you find after the English, of course, to translate the product? And is there any particular business that you cannot translate, or you can translate any kind of business?
I can try. Well, I personally don't speak all the languages in the world, but I have a team and I have access to all the languages in the world. So any business can be translated, because, and my vision is that an entrepreneur, when he wants to go global, it's because his dream or his desire is to serve as many people as possible. And he's only one. It's just one of, it's just one of David. And there's only 24 hours in the day. So we have to create this product. Like, I get this objection a lot when coaches, most often they say, well, Carmen, I customize my advice based on the client. I have to listen to them. It's just, there are no two clients the same, so I can't have something that works for everyone. Well, I'm telling you, you can. And we can work together on finding some general things that do work for everyone, or for specific groups of people. It doesn't have to work for everyone, but something general that works for a large audience. So we define it. We can create that physical product if the person doesn't have it. And then, again, depending on the service, I do believe right now that coaching is very, especially life coaching or even business coaching, like startup business type, works very good in Eastern Europe, in the countries that were less developed in the past years and that are now really coming, and they have a strong desire to, to succeed and to get to be like people in the US, or, people that they admire, or from advanced countries.
Right.
When it comes to, something more specific, if it's something that I said is for life coaching and startup business. When it comes to something very scientific or very, some big research in medical field, maybe countries like Germany or France would be interesting. This kind of markets, or Canada would be interesting for that. So it just depends. We're going to look a bit at the business, at who's the ideal client for that business. And, and that's how we decide which market we're going to go on. Asia is a huge market. A lot of my clients, they just require, translation in Chinese and Japanese and also Arabic. Those
Arabic
are
too.
big markets.
So you find that Eastern Europe are like thirsty to become entrepreneurs. They really want to learn, and therefore it's a good market to be in at this time to teach them how to become entrepreneurs and serve the world.
Yes, they are thirsty and they are also very good. They have good skills because they did put the effort into learning and into, everything that has to do with technology. And yes, I do find that they have they're very driven.
Okay. And now you've been doing this for what, 10 years now or more than 10 years?
Yes, I've been, well, ever since pretty much I started my experience abroad with internships and working with different companies since I was in college. So I was 19. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's a little over 10 years ago.
All right. So what kind of obstacle you had while you were moving forward in this business, and what kind of what did you have to overcome the obstacle in terms of? I'm sure you've gone through some of it.
I've gone through a lot of obstacles, and the one that comes, let me say like this, the most often, and it still comes even in these days, is time management, time scarcity. Like I often feel that, oh, there's so much on my plate. When am I gonna do this? And I have to follow up with that, and I have that, and I have that coming, and I have like sometimes even like too many clients or too much business just scares me. I just tend to get overwhelmed at points. So what I've noticed and what worked for me is I just consciously switch my mind. So whenever I feel like I get a new task and whenever I catch myself saying, oh, when am I gonna do this too?
Yeah.
I just switch it to, I have plenty of time to do this. There's plenty of time to do it. So I do believe it's a lot of mindset because, no matter how many tasks I would have today, there are people out there, like who run multi-million dollar companies and CEOs who have like way more than I do, and they still manage it successfully. So I know it's just a mindset. It's not real that I physically cannot fit something else in my day or in my schedule. So I just tell myself there's plenty of time to do it. There's plenty of time to do it. There's plenty of time to do it. And then, I just program myself to overcome it.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, time management is actually one of the most difficult. I've taken quite a few time management. I still suffer from, doing things the right way. It's one of those things that you constantly have to fight with. But just for your information, you probably work harder than CEO because some CEOs, they have a lot of help. Big company CEO, they have a lot of help and they only work actually a lot less.
Yeah, but they got there, right? They got
they
there.
got there. Yeah.
So they went through these phases of delegating and outsourcing and then just creating. I do believe everything is about creating systems. So the fact that they have help, which I totally agree, is their way of the system that they have created or that the company created for them. So that's what I'm doing my best also at, creating systems in my business, just automizing and systemizing everything.
Yeah, I read something that you sent me the other day, or you sent to other people, that about how you had some guests there with kids and so forth, and you were able still to do your work and by following a system. Can you share that with us?
Yes. So a few of the systems I have in place is I have a lot of forms, like documents or PDFs. For example, like follow up. I use Excel spreadsheets for follow ups, for dates, just to make it easy. And then for the most important things, the biggest things, I actually use. I don't know if you can see right behind me. I have this huge paper right on my wall, and I take notes right on my wall so I can see it and I can't forget it. So I have some, clients here, and I have some tasks to do. And also, what helps is I outsource internationally also, and that's another secret of mine, which I'm going to share with everyone. Internationally, and probably a lot of people know this, we can find labor at a much better rate than US.
Right.
So I have people who do my website or social media sometimes, or just personal, keeping track of stuff or sending emails overseas. And then I probably pay much less than the minimum wage in US. For them, I pay much higher than their minimum wage, so everybody's happy. So I also, and because they are overseas, they can keep track of somebody's always awake. Somebody's always awake looking over my business.
Right.
Because we work around the clock. And that's it pretty much. Just a few key people in different time zones, and then a lot of forms, Excel spreadsheets, a lot of organizer and tools, so I can often just copy pasting. If I have a question, for example, if I notice that people send me a question very often, how do you do this, or how do I often would have just the answer that's like copy paste. I don't have to type it all the time, and just maybe personalize it a little bit. But it's like the frequently asked questions section on any website.
Right. I was going to ask you something, but I forgot about it. I'll ask you something else. Because what is the single most important thing to do to become successful, in your view?
I believe is building connection with people around us and building meaningful connections. Because I believe it's very hard, if not impossible, to succeed on your own. So just build connections, help everyone around you whenever you can, and people are going to help you back. And if they don't, still help them if you can. And I believe this is the secret to becoming successful. People love helping other people. That's from my experience. We all feel good when we know we did something meaningful for somebody else. And then we just help each other and grow each other.
Right. I think Zig Ziglar said it best. He said, you can get anything in life you want if you help enough people get what they want.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Yeah. One other question I want to ask you is, how do you see yourself 5 years from now?
5 years from now. Okay, so my goal for my business is to work with and this is still I'm still defining this vision of mine. I know the vision, which I'm going to share with you. What I'm still working on is the steps, the how, and I know they say don't focus on the how, just focus on the what. It's just that at one point I feel I do have to start doing the how also. So my vision is to work with like Hollywood stars who are big famous people who have their as you know, a lot of celebrities, they have a cause that they believe in or that they support, like Leonardo DiCaprio with the message for climate change, and so Angelina Jolie, who supports kids. Everybody knows she adopted these kids from all over the world.
Right.
So I would like to work with these kind of people to spread their message internationally. It's already spread international, but even more, get more awareness on their cause, get more funding. Like Leonardo DiCaprio has the foundation that he always, anybody can go there and donate. So that's what I would like to do. I'm working with the celebrities, and the reason why I want to do this is also because, well, maybe there's a little bit of ego in me that's driving me to do that, right? Because who wouldn't want to be surrounded by celebrities? And it's also because them being famous, they have already an influence on a lot of people. So by working with them, I also feel that my work is going to touch more people, so we can make a bigger change. We can touch more people, and overall the positive impact of the work is going to be bigger than if I work with smaller ones at a smaller level.
Right. Yeah. That's a real entrepreneurship. That's wonderful. Is there anybody that you're working with right now with those celebrities?
I do work with celebrity status entrepreneurs. I do see them, like Shanda Sumter. She is, and I think I invited you to her event in September. She's hosting an event.
That's yes.
25, 26, 27. So if anybody wants to just look it up. She is an entrepreneur in the multi-million level entrepreneur, businesswoman. She started in real estate, and now she has a huge coaching business working with entrepreneurs, and she works through her. I'm also working with other celebrities. She has this program with Jesse Itzler, who is he's the founder of this private jet company, and he's the owner of the Atlanta Hawks, the team. And his wife is Sarah Blakely, who's the founder and CEO of Spanx. So I'm actually going to be at their house in a couple of weeks, spending a weekend there doing this fitness challenge.
Cool.
Going up and down 100 times on a hill. So I am in this world. I've been also with Damon John from Shark Tank. I've been talking to to his team about translating his book in Romanian. That's not a fact yet, so I don't want to announce myself as the translator of Damon's book yet, because it's not set, but I am working towards that goal.
Great, that's great. What mistake did you make in the past that you wish that you didn't make, or you're glad you did, so it taught you something?
I was gonna say, I think I'm glad I made. I wouldn't necessarily call it a mistake, and that's because I learned from them. But I would say I did things that were maybe not meant for me. So it's I want to choose my words very carefully when I say this. I've allowed myself to get a bit distracted, and it took me a while to make up my mind and stay focused on one path. I tried a lot of different things, and at one point I was gonna say, well, I'm gonna start this company. I'm gonna start this company. Like, I have a lot of experience in renewable energy because for many years I worked for this company in the renewable energy industry, and I was like, maybe I should start a consulting company in the renewable energy sector because I know a lot about it, and I know in the US it's becoming a big deal. In Europe it's already big, so I'm here. So I want to say I allow, even though I knew always that, and I even did this class once with, there's another coach, Barbara Schenk. She has a program called Your Sacred Gifts. So even through this program she took me, it came to realization that cultural integration and languages is one of my gifts, and I'm good at this. I was still avoiding it. I'm like, oh, maybe I should do this in renewable energy. Or maybe at one point I had a business, an educational company. I was teaching in schools. I had contracts with schools teaching kids about like geography and the culture of different countries, which is a bit related to what I'm doing. But I just didn't stay focused on my core strength, which was always translations and this networking, a huge network that I have. So I didn't stay focused on my assets.
All right. So what's really driving you? Like, I know you're a mother, you are a wife, an entrepreneur. What's the fire in you? What's your secret sauce? What's driving you to do these things?
As I said, the vision that's pulling me, it probably comes out of ego, and I do believe that a little bit of ego is good and it's sane. It's healthy for us because it's what's pushing us forward. So I do have this vision of working with celebrities. And then I also have the vision of providing for my kids a life experience that's different than what today is considered standard. So like this year, I'm gonna homeschool my daughter. She's supposed to go into 6th grade, but I already put all the paperwork in. I'm gonna homeschool her, and I'm gonna take her to travel around the world. I want her to see different countries, and she's gonna go into different programs in different countries. So I want to be able to do this. That's why my business is systemized, so I can work from pretty much anywhere. And I also would love for my husband to retire because
you won't have to stay home.
he just works so much, and he's very passionate about that. So I don't think I'm ever gonna convince him to do that. But at least the businesses he's running are the type of like pre-internet type of businesses, like restaurants, franchises, things that are settled in one place, and he really needs to be there and put a lot of hours physically being there. So I would love for that to change.
Great. Well, there are a lot of mothers just like you. They have kids and they work so hard because when you have kids, I understand, I have kids too, but they're grown up now. It's a lot of work. And a lot of women, mother just like you and wives, they want to do something in their life, but they just unable to do it. Somehow they feel that there's no time between raising the kids and take them to soccer game or baseball game or whatever, and they don't have the time or the discipline. What do you say to these women who really wants to do something, but they need some push, let's put it this way?
So for the mothers, I would say like this. I heard a lot of times, and even some of my friends saying, well, I don't think I'm going to have a kid this year because I want to focus on this business goal. Or I don't think that kids and business don't go together. I think they go together perfectly. As a matter of fact, the year when I had my son was probably one of my most productive years because I wasn't sleeping at night because I was nursing every 2 hours, so I was awake all night long. And I believe, I don't want to sound like a bad mom, but kids are growing, and kids are gonna choose their own path and their own passions. So while I do love to spend time with my kids and be with them, you know, they also have their own life. And I believe that I'm a good example to my kids, not by being 24/7 with them, but by showing them what's possible and what they can do also. And I do spend a lot of time with my kids, you know, in the afternoon, in the weekends. We take up a lot of, you know, a lot of trips together. However, sometimes the time that I spend with my kids is I have to do some work, you do your work, and we're in the same office. Like my daughter, I actually signed her up in a business program, and that's the time we spend together. We both work on our businesses. So I believe it's important to show that, and if they feel like they don't have the time because they have to drive the kid to the soccer game, I do that too. I don't know, just take your computer with you and work from the soccer field. You know,
Yeah,
if you
it's
need
really
to.
again about time management, really about.
It is, and I can see that happening. However, Shark Tank is one of my favorite show, and Kevin O'Leary, he's, you know, the Mr. Wonderful. He says that he loves partnering with business women who are mothers, because they, even if they are so busy, they are the ones who in the end know what it takes to find time. They know that they have to find the time. So I fully believe that kids are not an excuse not to start a business. Kids are a motivation, and kids are, you know, they just go together. You can do so much more just for them, or you want to be a model for them. So no offense, I understand what overwhelmed feels like, and it's just, it's still possible.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. What is the best advice you've ever were told by a coach or somebody that sticks in your head? Is there anything?
I've had I was blessed to have a lot of good mentors around me, and get a lot of great advice. Being generous was a great advice I received. Always be generous. So one of my mentors, actually, she often says that if we feel overwhelmed and like everything, you know, we can't do anything, and everything is hard, it's because we're just too self-centered in that moment. He's like, just take your head out of your computer, whatever you're doing, and go help out some people. Focus on somebody else, you know, to relax.
True. That's true. Sometimes we forget that we kind of focus on ourselves and we forget to focus
Yeah.
on other people, which is really the true happiness. Give us, by the way, do you have the website address for the event that's going to be coming in Palm Spring, the one you mentioned earlier?
It's
Remember it?
I'm pretty sure the website is thezoneevent.com. Thezoneevent.com. It's September 25, 6, 7, 3 days in Palm Springs, California. And I'm not sure how much the tickets are if you Google them. I do have some links to some discounted tickets. So if anybody wants to attend, you can just email me. My website is carmenring.com, and there's a chat box in there. You can email me through there. And I can give you those links to get some, I think, discounted tickets. I'm not sure how much they are if you just go on the website, but it's the
It's
zone
about
event.
$100 or something.
Yeah, the links I have are for 197. So
Yeah.
maybe that's the price also if you go on the website. I'm not 100% sure. So it's hosted by Shanda Sumter.
Right. Now you give free, I guess you call it something that you give on your website, expand your
market.
So you have a free, somebody can schedule you for free consultation to ask you questions. Is that correct?
Yes, for 30 minutes. So what we'll do in this session is we would look at what your business is like, and if you want to take it on what the best market for you would be, and what in general lines the best strategy for your business to go international would be. And yes, I do that for free. You can also go on my website and book a 30 minutes free session.
All right, that's great. That's great. It was wonderful talking to you, Carmen. I think that's about it for now. You have anything else you want to say?
Well, I want to thank you, David, so much for having me here and for your work also. I'm very happy we got to meet and to have this collaboration. And I just hope to see you soon, maybe in September at the Zone event.
Yeah, I plan to go in September to. I'm going to be in California anyway, so I'll be right there. So I will see you there. Okay.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much for having me, David.
Okay, thanks a lot, Carmen. You have a great day, and we'll talk later. Okay.
Sounds good.
Thank you. Take care. Bye bye.